Congressman Guinta.
How's everybody doing? I'll tell you, it was nice to fly back from D.C. last night and no longer see any snow in my backyard. We obviously had a pretty tough winter, but we're Granite Staters. We can handle it. We can take it. And as I would go back and forth to Washington, the members from the southern part of the country would ask me, how do you guys deal with this crazy weather? And like many ways I answer that question, it always comes down to, we are the live free or die state. We can handle anything. And I will tell you what, this next election is about live free or die. We've got an opportunity in the next year and a half, with the number of candidates we have, to show that we are not just a party who can govern, but we are a party of ideas, we are a party of solutions, and that we are a party that allows the people to decide who represents us, not the other way around. If you look at what's going on in the Democratic primary, you'll see one person who's running. One person who has spent a few days in a very nice van traveling around Iowa on our way here to New Hampshire, going to very coordinated events where she won't talk to the press, won't talk to average Americans unless they used to work for Obama. And yet, look at what's happened here in New Hampshire in the last several days. We've had candidate after candidate after candidate come and talk at town hall meetings, house parties, taking questions from the press, taking questions from Granite Staters. This is what America is supposed to be about. This is what a primary process is supposed to be about. And we have an obligation and a responsibility here in New Hampshire to make sure, after we fully vet the candidates, that we select the most appropriate individual and get behind that person who becomes our nominee, because it is so important to change the direction of this country, and the only way we can do it is by taking the White House in 2016. And I know that we can do it here in New Hampshire. I'm really grateful that I come from a state where I can actually meet every single candidate, that all of us has an opportunity to meet every single candidate. This afternoon, I was over at a house party in Manchester for Marco Rubio. We had a packed room, 100 people, and it was great to see the back and forth. He gave a phenomenal speech, talked about upward mobility and the optimism that he feels for our nation, and the importance of his journey to not just America, but to the United States Senate and the way he feels about our nation. It was great to see that so many different people from so many different backgrounds are representing so many different unique opportunities who can ascend to the White House. That's what America is about. That is what our country is about. That is what the principle is that we want to see restored and returned to the White House. And there was a very nice moment during his remarks when a friend of mine had her son, 10-year-old boy, at the event. He couldn't see because he's about this tall. So I held him up, and he decided he wanted to ask Marco a question. And Marco was kind enough to ask him to call on him and get his question asked. And his question, a 10-year-old kid, was, "Are you a Red Sox fan?" I think it's a very important question relative to how you're going to do in New Hampshire. And I think he actually gave a very good answer. He said, well, he's a politician. He didn't say yes or no. He said, "I'm not a Red Sox fan, but I'm not a Yankee fan either." So far, he's doing pretty well in my book. But I want to thank Marco for coming up here and all the candidates who have spent today and tomorrow trying to earn our vote. That is what seeking the presidency is about. Talking to Granite Staters, talking to real people, trying to earn this one vote at a time. And I hope that we continue to bring our friends and neighbors into this process so we can get everyone engaged and make sure that we do what we know is right for America. we've got to elect a Republican in 2016.
Yeah.
I will continue to do everything I can to represent you and the conservative values we have here in the state while I'm in Washington. I'll come back every weekend like I've always said. I'll listen to what you have to say, and I'll do my very best. But I will tell you, I need help. In this election, we need more than just one member in the House of Representatives. We need more than just the state legislature as Republican and Democrat here in New Hampshire. We've got to bring this home the final time. So let's join together during this process. Talk to our friends, talk to our neighbors. Make sure that we talk about the great Republican candidates we have. Let's not always talk about their differences, but their solutions. Let's make sure that we are positive about the people that we support and encourage. And then let's make sure we do everything we can, again, to make sure that the Republican nominee is the next President of the United States. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night.